Did you know that nearly 800,000 Americans suffer a stroke every single year and almost 1 in 4 never return to their normal life? Imagine this: you go to bed at night feeling fine, but the next morning you wake up in a hospital bed, unable to speak, unable to move half of your body. That's how stroke strikes: silent, sudden, and devastating. Today, I want to share a true story. The story of an American who faced not just 1, but 2 strokes and still survived to tell it. This isn't just his story, it's a survival lesson for all of us, because every single one of us could be at risk without even realizing it. You'll hear about the pain, the fear, but more importantly, you'll discover hope, the hope that even when death knocks twice, there is still a way forward. So how does someone survive to strokes? What helped him cross the line between life and death? And most importantly, what lessons from this story could save you or someone you love? Stay tuned, because the answers may forever change the way you think about stroke. The first stroke often comes like a thief in the night. For our storyteller, it started with something subtle: a severe headache, a brief moment of dizziness, and a stumble on the stairs. He thought to himself, it's probably just exhaustion from a long day, but in reality, these were the warning bells. According to the American Heart Association, 80% of stroke patients experience early warning signs, yet most ignore them. He did the same, carried on with his day, thinking a little rest would make it go away. Just hours later, everything changed. He felt numbness down one side of his body, his mouth twisted, and his words came out slurred. His family panicked, but they didn't call 911 right away. They assumed it was low blood pressure or stress. This is a deadly mistake that thousands of American families still make, because with stroke, time is brain. Every minute, millions of brain cells are destroyed. Without urgent medical help, the outcome is often permanent disability or death. That first stroke nearly took his life. But it also served as a wake-up call, a reminder that the body always sends signals, and we cannot afford to ignore them. When we think of stroke, we picture it as something sudden and unexpected. But in reality, it's the result of years of silent damage building up in the body. There are 2 main types: ischemic stroke, when a blood clot blocks the flow of blood, and hemorrhagic stroke, when a vessel in the brain bursts, flooding it with blood. Either way, the result is devastating. Brain cells begin to die within minutes from lack of oxygen and nutrients. According to the CDC, 1 in 6 cardiovascular deaths in the US is caused by stroke. And here's the scary truth: many of the risk factors come from our everyday habits. High blood pressure, the silent killer. High cholesterol and diabetes, slowly damaging blood vessels over time. Smoking, thickening the blood and increasing clot formation. And when combined with a sedentary lifestyle, it's like carrying a ticking time bomb inside your body. Think of your brain as a massive city where the blood vessels are the highways. When one of those highways gets blocked or collapses, the entire city shuts down. That's what happens in a stroke. The story we're sharing today isn't just a personal tragedy. It's scientific proof of a harsh reality. Stroke doesn't discriminate by age, gender, or status. It strikes anyone who fails to recognize and control their risks early on. They say 1 fall may be an accident, but 2 in a row is a wake-up call. For our survivor, the second stroke came less than 18 months after the first. And this time, it was harsher, deadlier. If the first stroke made it hard for him to move and speak, the second nearly took away his ability to care for himself altogether. One morning, as he tried to get out of bed, he collapsed completely. Half his body was paralyzed, his words stuck in his throat. This time, his family immediately dialed 911 and paramedics arrived within minutes. Doctors explained that the risk of a recurrent stroke doubles within 5 years of the first one. And when it does happen, the odds of death and permanent disability are much higher. The reason is simple: the damage from the first stroke hasn't fully healed. The brain is already weakened and the blood vessels remain fragile. That second stroke turned complacency into a bitter lesson. He realized that just taking prescribed medication wasn't enough. His lifestyle, his diet, his daily habits all had to change, but within that darkness came a spark of hope. Because instead of giving up, he chose to fight to regain independence, to keep living, and to share his story as a powerful reminder for all of us. After 2 strokes, many would believe life is essentially over. But for our survivor, this was the beginning of a new journey, the journey of recovery and rebirth. From the very first days, doctors put him on a strict treatment plan, blood thinners, blood pressure control, and constant monitoring. But the real key was rehabilitation. Day after day, he had to relearn what most of us take for granted: holding a spoon, taking small steps, forming words again. Every small victory was paid for with tears, sweat, and endless patience. Nutrition became his new medicine. He filled his plate with vegetables, omega-3 rich fish, while cutting down on salt, sugar, and saturated fats. Alongside this came gentle exercise, walking, breathing exercises, yoga tailored for seniors. And most importantly, mental health played a decisive role. He joined support groups, shared his story with fellow survivors, and transformed pain into motivation. One of the most common questions people ask is, can you really get back to a normal life after the strokes? The answer is yes, but not the same normal. You learn to slow down, to listen to your body, and to cherish each day you wake up alive. This recovery journey is living proof that a stroke doesn't have to mean the end. It can be the beginning of a stronger, more meaningful life. After facing death twice, our survivor learned lessons he will never forget. And those lessons are the roadmap that any of us can follow to prevent a stroke more effectively. First, control your blood pressure, the silent killer. He measured his blood pressure daily, took his medications faithfully, and adopted a low-salt lifestyle while cutting back on alcohol. Second, eat a heart-healthy diet. He swapped fast food and red meat for vegetables, whole grains, fish, and nuts. This mirrors the Mediterranean diet, scientifically proven to reduce stroke risk by up to 30%. Third, stay active. No need for intense workouts. Just a brisk 30-minute walk each day, combined with simple stretches, improved circulation and reduced stress significantly. Fourth, quit smoking and limit alcohol. These 2 risk factors can be eliminated completely with determination. And finally, listen to your body. If you ever experience sudden numbness, slurred speech, facial drooping, or sudden vision loss, read it as a red alarm and call 911 immediately. Don't wait. Don't dismiss it. He often tells friends, I paid the price of 2 strokes to learn these lessons. I hope you don't have to learn them the hard way like I did. The message is crystal clear. Stroke can be prevented, and prevention will always be better than cure. 2 strokes, 2 brushes with death, yet our survivor chose not to give up. He chose to rise, to fight, and to turn pain into power so he could keep living and inspire others. This story reminds us that a stroke is not the end. It can be a comma, not a period, opening a new chapter where we live slower, healthier, and more meaningfully. If you're watching this, take it as a wake-up call. Start with the little things, check your blood pressure, improve your diet, walk every day, and never ignore the warning signals your body sends. And now, here's my message to you. If you found this story valuable, please hit like, subscribe to Body Mind Thrive, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss life-saving content. Share this video with friends and family because that simple act could save a life. And finally, drop a comment below. Have you or your loved ones ever experienced stroke symptoms? Your story could inspire and teach thousands of others. Remember, stroke can strike anyone, anytime, but we can prevent it, fight it, and keep living just as our survivor proved. Never forget, every day you wake up is already a second chance at life. Cherish it.